Charged me 200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I really can't have this on for longer than 3 or 4 hours. My neck started hurting. You know, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but you know, it's 200 just for a kilo.
What's the pendant cost?
3, just for the pendant. Right here, this is Antarctica. This is the big boy. This machine called it Antarctica. It's the chandelier. But I might have seen DJ Khaled with this song. It's that big boy, you know.
How much is it worth?
2 million.
Yeah. So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino, it's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big, I can feel it. I'm just talking,
Recently, Rick Ross inked a record-breaking $120 million deal with Big Meech to have full creative control over future BMF recordings. 50 Cent is also incensed. It is said that the deal includes the rights to films, television, series, merchandise, and documentaries, depriving 50 of the recognizable brand he popularized.
Right, they don't even understand that you know, the way we grew up, you're supposed to spend no more than 10 or 20% of what you make. You know what I'm saying?
Completely duped by Meech, whom he had supported for years throughout the BM series, and was not aware that the deal was being negotiated, according to those close to 50. Ross immediately celebrated with an enigmatic post. The real bosses move in silence until it's time to collect. 50 responded with a harsh Instagram post that read, "Disloyalty at its finest. This is the appreciation I get for bringing BMF worldwide." According to industry sources, this might result in one of the most intense feuds between two of hip-hop's biggest moguls to date. Fans are in shock that Big Meech is now involved. Now that he has spoken directly to 50 Cent, Big Meech has made accusations that cut to the core of their tense relationship. Reports state that Meech believes 50 has been dominating Lil Meech, causing a gap between father and son and breaking family ties. Given the rapid rise in tensions, there are no signs that these repercussions will abate.
Have some.
He was able to do it because, you know, like financially, I was supporting the idea, and I believe he could do it. He had moved to California and was working with acting coaches, and his dad didn't know that he was.
The distance between Big Meech and Rick Ross grew when he was freed from prison, especially after he was seen hanging out with Ross, which reportedly upset his business relationships. This public meeting with Ross marked a transformation of dramatic proportions and quickly destroyed what remained of Meech's connection with 50. In the middle is Lil Meech, who initially stood strongly behind 50 Cent and demonstrated his unwavering dedication through public statements and gestures. Recent occurrences, however, indicate a clear change. Presently, Lil Meech and Big Meech seem to share Rick Ross's viewpoint, suggesting a restructured collaboration and raising questions about their long-term objectives. It appears that the turning point was 50 Cent's criticism of Big Meech's parenting role. Accused of approving Lil Meech's alleged drug use and reckless behavior, 50 said Meech was more of a burden than a mentor. This public outcry is a watershed in an ongoing story of devotion, influence, and legacy. A dispute that now extends beyond familial and business politics.
What's the best memory of 50 Cent?
Best memory of 50 Cent? Ever since I met 50 Cent, he's always been stand up and probably the most truthful person I've ever.
Or reports state that the Flannery father-son combo is putting together a counteroffensive and a media strategy that will drastically change the BM's narrative. As it currently stands, there have been recent industry speculations that Big Meech and Lil Meech are in early talks to collaborate with Floyd Mayweather and Rick Ross on a new BMF event series. The goal, according to some, is to rival 50 Cent's current televised portrayal of the Black Mafia family. Insiders don't think so, though. There is rising speculation that individuals like Floyd and Ross, who are known for utilizing prominent connections to enhance their own financial and branding interests, would use Meech and his son for personal gain. Many believe this strategy could backfire. Critics argue that while the concept of a competing BM series is bold, the Fenoris would lose significance in their own story if they link themselves with other powerful egos. The root cause of this deadlock is Big Meech's insistence that 50 Cent not be permitted to utilize his name without protest. 50 publicly accused Meech of having a negative impact on Lil Meech and questioned his parenting, which significantly escalated tension between all parties. By raising the possibility that the BM concert was ended,
I find myself. My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? Like, shit, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, to live up to my dad's name. And he called me one day, he's like, man, they looking at Terrence Howard and Nipsey Hussle. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to play me, but you gotta go to acting class so you can get ready. So I met 50. 50 put me in acting class for 2 years in LA. Invested in me, paid for the acting class. I had to go every day, 2 times a day, 5 days a week. In the morning, in the afternoon, come back home, study again, do the same thing the next day.
Wow, a ball player.
Yeah, but I put in the work though, and it showed me that 50 couldn't get me the job. I had to get myself the job. My dad couldn't get me the job. They would have hired somebody else that already had acting experience. I had no experience. So I was coming from...
It seems that Lil Meech realized the ramifications and attempted to limit the harm. He reportedly spoke with 50 Cent directly and said that the widely circulated image of Big Meech and Rick Ross, which is credited with igniting the disagreement, was merely a contractual requirement. He has tried to defuse the situation, but it has just made things more tense. Given the hazy future of the BM's legacy and its representation on television, Lil Meech attempted to address the viral controversy in a message allegedly sent to 50 Cent, asserting that Rick Ross assisted Big Meech in getting through a tough period by helping to cover essential costs until the start of the next BM season. Ross provided some bread to my dad so he could cover his expenses till the beginning of our new season. As reported, Lil Meech explained, I'm confused by this stuff on the internet, man. You do know me after all. Even though there was an attempt at reconciliation, 50 Cent was completely unmoved by the explanation. According to sources, his response was cold and calculating, and instead of accepting the message, 50 implied that Lil Meech's time in the BM series might already be coming to an end by cryptically asking what the upcoming season would hold. His next action was even more scathing. He made fun of Lil Meech's potential career in entertainment in a public statement, joking that he might soon make an appearance on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and that he would call Mona Scott to set it up. The conversation went on. Meech and Rick Ross discovered an old video that allegedly showed Lil Meech with Ross's daughter, Toy Roberts. He uploaded the video in what appeared to be an effort to paint both men as bad role models who failed to give their children the proper education. The action struck a personal chord, signifying that the feud had moved past social media criticism and TV contracts to the point where legacy and reputation were at stake. 50 Cent fueled the fire by publicly denouncing Rick Ross's lack of participation in Big Meech's court cases, saying, Ross's unexpected alliance with the Fenoris family suddenly seemed opportunistic, voicing pointed concerns. For what reason? Did he not send Meech to acting school to get him ready for this role? A rude remark was uttered by 50. The questions weren't rhetorical in nature. Intentionally, they were meant to highlight inconsistencies and strained relationships among coalitions. From the response of the general public, they have already had a lasting impact. The tensions grew, and 50 Cent didn't hold back. In an incisive essay, he reminded everyone of his lifelong services to the Fenoris family. He claimed he was the one who truly created opportunities when others were absent, while Big Meech was incarcerated. He credited himself with keeping the BM brand viable and relevant through both marketing and real business. There are 50 assertions that the BM series alone helped to create. He repeatedly mentioned that the family had earned more than $5 million in real earnings. He accused Lil Meech of squandering the entire show's earnings after that. 50 boldly declared, now that it's all gone, that's not on me. The remark immediately caused a rift in public opinion and shook fan networks. Some believed that 50 was too quick to end things after just one Rick Ross business opportunity. Some argued, however, that his attitude was justified, especially in view of the years of professional investment, mentoring, and branding that were intended to validate the Fennery heritage. Commenters were not limited to admirers. Bowie joined the ranks of industry heavyweights who began to voice their opinions, adding his perspective to the firestorm. Bowie criticized the way Little Meech responded to 50 popular disapproval, particularly considering the tone of his SMS message. There was not the passion and energy one would expect when a parent figure is being questioned in public, he remarked. According to Bowie, the respectful tone was inappropriate given how serious the situation was. If I had been in his position, the response would have been much more direct, perhaps even aggressive, he said. A further layer of complexity was added to the unfolding drama by this interpretation. It raised deeper questions about how to communicate, how to respect different generations, and how to demonstrate loyalty when one's personal and professional goals appear to contradict in public. With additional voices joining in, one thing became evident. This dispute had progressed much beyond the miscommunication was simple. The case study had evolved into one of betrayal, perception, and shattered legacy. After Bowie's public remarks and growing backlash, 50 Cent addressed his stance. He reiterated that his influence on Little Meech's career was more significant than Big Meech's. 50 stepped up by sharing a video of Bowie's interview with the stinging comment, "I did more for Meech than anyone in his life." It was a simple retort that highlighted his belief that loyalty should be decided by actions rather than blood. 50's statement that he would be the first person Little Meech would call if he were ever incarcerated again suggested an unbreakable tie based on support rather than sentiment. But then it got more severe. Further, with revelations that stunned industry observers. The BMF television production star, actor Russell Hornsby, reportedly witnessed Little Meech showing clear signs of intoxication during a guns training session. Meech reportedly began vomiting on stage, prompting an emergency reaction, according to 50. During interrogation, Meech admitted to having whippets or nitrous oxide inhalants in his vehicle. 50 claimed he had to research the topic after discovering that the compounds found in compressed air canisters are also found in whippets. This is something he hinted at in his TV show Power, which often deals with drug abuse and hidden addictions. This issue went beyond manufacturing. It was an expression of a greater concern for self-control, appearance, and responsibility under coercion. The suspense was immediately increased by Little Meech, who posted an enigmatic image on Instagram that implied deliberate choices were being made behind closed doors. The message was clear: the board was in play, and alliances were shifting. But even if Meech and Rick Ross are reportedly thinking of making their own BMF film, a major legal obstacle stands in their way. 50 Cent still owns the exclusive television and film rights to the BMF tale, according to persons with knowledge of the entertainment business. In other words, no project using the BMF name or appearance may proceed without his specific consent. A significant implication. Brand confusion, legal action, or both could result from any attempt to proceed with a competing initiative. As the fight progresses, Rick Ross's unique quality is becoming more than just loyalty, it's strategic control. This could mean putting innovative plans on hold unless negotiations with 50 Cent take a very unlikely and abrupt turn. Regardless of how heated the conflict between 50 Cent and the Fennery family becomes, one crucial fact is said to remain constant. The BMF film and television world is still exclusively owned by 50 Cent's G-Unit. These controls are not expected to change in any way. Regardless of the recent criticism, Gannett is stepping up and preparing to expand the BMF brand. Recent reports, confirmed by TMZ, indicate that one of the major projects now under development is 8th biopic centers on Tammy Cowens, the entrepreneur heavily involved in the financial and administrative operations of BMF. This well-thought-out action solidifies 50 Cent's control on the storytelling rights and shows his determination to alter how the BMF saga is perceived. The public is supporting 50 more and more as he continues, especially among devoted followers and business professionals who think his version of events is the most true. On the other hand, Lil Meech is facing more criticism for how he handled the chance that was given to him. People argue that he squandered one of the most sought-after roles in modern TV history, one that could have led to new franchise chapters and provided much-needed depth to the BMF legacy. Recent rumors claim that Lil Meech squandered every penny of the money he received from participating in the show. Estimated after a few years, it will be around $5 million. Instead of securing his financial future, he allegedly spent the money on iced-out watches, high-end designer clothes, jeans, transient pleasures, monogram chrome hearts, and exotic cars. Particular attention was drawn when he revealed in public that he had spent $2 million on a single watch. Personal indulgences were not the only thing these exhibits were. His lifestyle became a spectacle as a result of their widespread online dissemination, which drew harsh criticism from fans and industry insiders alike. Critics contend that the seeming extravagant expenditure reveals more serious problems with judgment, maturity, and missed chances. With Gunnet expanding its presence and Lil Meech being on the sidelines, the future of his engagement with BMF-related media is uncertain. New partnership discussions are nevertheless rife with questions. Is it closed for good? Or will Lil Meech be able to rejoin the franchise? Lil Meech has started to exhibit signs of entitlement, Tony Yao claimed in a recent remark on the topic. Based on industry allegations, Big Meech reportedly spent $100,000 on a single pair of pricey pants shortly after allegedly requesting performers like Lil Baby to help pay his debts. Considering that Meech was only a few weeks ago vowing allegiance to 50 Cent and splitting from Rick Ross, this action has fueled a great deal of suspicion. The roles have altered significantly since then. Next to Lil Meech are those who have long been associated with 50 Cent rivals, and that sudden shift has raised more complex questions of loyalty, strategic timing, and long-term planning. In an attempt to challenge 50 Cent's TV series dominance, Big Meech and Lil Meech are reportedly in negotiations with Floyd Mayweather and Rick Ross to launch a rival BM film project. On the surface, the proposal appears ambitious. Two prominent personalities are backing a new movie version of the BM story. However, problems arise quickly. Big Meech's life story rights are no longer under his control. It would be necessary to negotiate or purchase those rights, which are still owned by Gunnet Film and Television, even if the project were to move forward. There are still significant questions that remain. Will Ross and Mayweather attempt to spin their own version of the BM's history? Is this truly an artistic endeavor, or is it just a planned act of retaliation against 50 Cent to undermine his financial influence and cultural momentum? People in the industry are closely monitoring the situation. Although headlines stimulate public interest, ownership rights and contracts will ultimately dictate what is shown on screens and who profits from it. This is more than just telling stories. It's related to intellectual property and legacy. So, this is the query. Was it correct for 50 Cent to claim that Big Meech had a negative impact on his son? Furthermore, is this unexpected collaboration with Ross and Mayweather's actions represent revenge or a calculated business move? In the comments section below, kindly express your thoughts. Please remember to like and subscribe as this narrative progresses for additional updates. Additionally, don't forget to view the next video. Don't overlook the impending event.